Okay, Corbyn and Brexit, let's go through it and come to a really sensible conclusion about how to move forward. So I'm seeing lots of comments on social media, basically divided into two camps. One is that Labour is slowly moving from a hard Brexit position to a softer Brexit position and maybe Remain. And Labour's a broad church, and so of course this has to be a slow process. Be patient, read between the lines. And then the other camp is Jeremy Corbyn is a hard Brexiteer. He always was, and he has betrayed our votes and our trust. And what he is going to try and do is essentially trap the pro-EU vote within the Labour Party under his own leadership and force a hard Brexit. Now, which of these is true, we'll come to in a bit. But let's take the first one, because officially the Labour position is we take the vote leave statement at face value, that we can get a deal that retains all of the benefits of the customs union and the single market. So that's what we're going for. That's what we're aiming for in a Brexit deal. If we don't get that deal, then we reject it. And if we reject that deal, you either have a choice of no deal or Remain. And we've already taken no deal off the table. They've been at pains to say no deal is not an option, which means you have a vote between the deal and Remain. Now, can you do a deal which retains all the benefits of the customs union and the single market? Well, the EU themselves have said no, because what's the point of membership if it's more beneficial for non-members than the members themselves who are actually paying and abiding by rules? So you have a very, very clear, logical path to Remain there. And that is the long game. And whether it's the Conservatives in government or whether it's Labour in government, that is a clear, logical path. Okay, so that's scenario one. Scenario two, the theory that, Jeremy Corbyn is unmoved by all of the tactical voting and pro-EU voting and the shift within the Labour Party that is actually more Remain. So it was 67% pro-Remain before, now it is 71%. So the theory that Jeremy Corbyn and his hardcore group around him actually want a hard Brexit and they will force that upon Labour come hell or high water, the evidence for that is basically that Jeremy Corbyn has been Eurosceptic in the past, and also he thinks that the EU gets in the way of some state aid rules which he thinks may obstruct his path to renationalising the railways. So is there some truth in that? Maybe. I mean, at the moment, the situation is, it's a bit of a Schrödinger situation. Both are kind of true, but a determining factor is going to be what the public at large think and what the Labour base think going forward. So my recommendation would be strongly to stick with the former line and say this is the official Labour position and the official Labour path. Now, if you think about what happened with Chuka and his proposal recently, you can see both sides of this division clear and present. So when Chuka put in that amendment, because saying single market is the only way that it should be, then Corbyn put in an amendment which immediately after, which was basically all of the stuff about no, we have to be committed to retaining all the same benefits, which is patently impossible. And Ian Dunt, commenting, said, this is impossible. But the purpose of it is look at the path. So this is why a lot of people were frustrated with Chuka for actually spoiling the unity that Labour newly had and opening these rifts when there was a clear path forward. But why did Chuka do what he did? Because he got support cross-party from the other parties. Couldn't have any Tories in because this was to do with the Queen's speech and them retaining power. But it was a proof of principle that you can have cross-party consensus. And with most parliamentarians actually having voted Remain, it was a test of the backup system, because further down the line when you do have that vote, you can actually have a cross-party vote to reject a deal, which includes all parties. So he was kind of like testing the backup system so that no matter what Corbyn and McDonnell do ultimately, at the end of the day, the power is in the hands of the Parliament themselves. Parliament is sovereign. Right, so now, bear in mind that Nigel Farage and Daniel Hannan, I have seen them both tweeting out, you know, Corbyn's our guy, Corbyn's our man, Brexit couldn't have happened without him, what a good Brexit chap. Why are they doing that? Because they would love nothing more than for the pro-EU camp to turn on Corbyn within the Labour Party, thereby forcing his own base, the Corbynistas, to actually be anti the pro-EU guys. And then that sets up a real foothold for Labour leave within the Labour Party. So the last thing that you actually want to do is open up that animosity. It shouldn't be about Corbyn. The General Labour manifesto was good and progressive, and so what we should all be doing is saying that the Labour position is quite clearly, if we can't get all the benefits that were promised, then we vote, and we vote to remain, because that's a better alternative. And that's what we should be promoting to the wider audience. That's what we should be promoting within the Labour base, and pro-EU activists should be getting involved with the Labour activists and saying, all within this broad church, if we want to do the Labour agenda for big social investment, we can't have a Brexit that wrecks it. There's a sort of a choice between the two, and it is much better to be either soft Brexit or preferably remain, take that massive cost and burden off the table, and actually address the societal investment problems that this country needs. And I think that's the most productive line and the most productive plan to stick to. Thank you.